Welcome. And welcome to Skipper, former teammate, mate, all of those things. Andrew, how are you?
Hello, mate. I am really good, thanks.
Excellent. I'm glad that you are. I kind of like to chew the cud, you know? As you know, actually, you do know. I shouldn't ask you that.
I'm interested to see if you'll actually let me speak during this encounter.
I'm still being sledged. You'd think you get used to it, but you don't. Anyhow, mate, I want to know about your experience of the state of cricket in general. And I know that's a very broad question. And the reason I ask it is because I think that we might kind of see it through different eyes and experience it differently. So you transition from player and then you become coach, or you kind of sit and retired and you watch it, or whatever. But your journey particularly is one where, England coach, and perhaps even before that, where you're what I would call a high performance coach, and sort of trying to develop youngsters to make them ready for international cricket. And that's over a long period of time. Give me give everybody a feel of how that journey has kind of gone.
Okay. That's the second time I've been described today as transitioning. So, can we stop that just for a moment?
Okay.
But let's talk about.
I was talking about it being in the past, but okay.
Okay. Cricket in general. So, as you know, the transition from player to coach was an interesting one initially. Because I was lucky enough to get a chance to coach with England straight away as soon as I'd finished playing for Essex. So that was really fortunate that I could go straight into international cricket, and into international cricket with such a big team with amazing resources. And then the transition from international coaching to academy coaching, which I really loved. Working in a different environment with less pressure, and with a very clear focus on development and learning for the players. And obviously I learned a lot during that time as well. And then moving from working for the England Cricket Board into franchise cricket. So I suppose my coaching's sort of moved in the same direction as cricket in general, with a greater focus and importance placed on franchise cricket, which is where I'm working now. I think the interesting bit of that is what are the decision makers in the world game? How are they going to control the growth? I don't know if control is the right word, but control the growth of franchise cricket, and how does it work in harmony with international cricket? International cricket used to be the pinnacle. That's being challenged now because of the amount of money and influence these big franchise owners have.
I'll tell something, sorry to interrupt you, but on this channel, I've said in times past, and it's not going too long by the way, but I've said in times past that the model for cricket essentially is inverted. It's the wrong way around. If we look at sport in general, who you play for is your club, and then you break to go and play international games. But as long as we've known it, cricket is you play national sport, and then you go off and play for your club every now and again, right? So do you feel that could flip? And when I say flip the right way around, essentially it would be that, right? Look at soccer, look at rugby, whatever sport you want to pick.
I guess it's not really the right way around or the wrong way around. It's just what the norm is in other sports, is that you are contracted to a club and you're released to play international cricket. So less right or wrong, but just the norm in sport is the other way around. So yes, I think it is flipping.
Sitting on the fence again. Anyway.
Not sitting on the fence. Language is important.
Okay.
So it's definitely shifting, and there's been talk in the media recently, and you can see the way it's going, that these franchise owners that are owning more than one team in one league are thinking of employing on a year-round basis a player like Jos Buttler, for instance, and then they will release him to play international cricket. And I mean, that it seems to be almost inevitable that that's going to happen, because the buying power, especially in India, is so strong that no other nation can keep up with it.
So, and language being important, can you express your own view? Do you feel that is right or wrong? Do you feel it should go that way? Do you feel it's an encroachment on those with the buying power, with money? Because once you place money on the table, it's almost impossible for those who are being offered the money to turn it down. So, for instance, I think you mentioned Jos Buttler. I'll mention Jofra Archer, who an article came out on, and they said, you know, the numbers that were being bandied about were multiple millions per year. You know, how is he going to turn that down? He's not going to turn that down. Of course he'll take that, because there's no guarantee of another game for anybody in sport, right? Because if this is what you do and you can earn, I don't know, $5 million in 1 year, you go with it. So are they encroaching? Is it right? Is it wrong? What do you think if you were to think about it now? And I know you're a traditional sort of guy, but maybe maybe you'll surprise me.
Well, the first thing I'd say is it's healthier, I think, to look at it, or to not look at it as right or wrong.
Okay.
And I think market forces are demanding certain things in cricket.
Right.
So they're demanding more white ball cricket. We're seeing a test match on right at this moment, which is hugely exciting at Lord's between Australia and England. But test match cricket around the world, I think, is being diluted in importance in a lot of the ticket buying public's eyes. And there are really strong bonds and there's strong interest in the franchise game. And I think the cricketing public are loving being associated with cities.
Right. Franchises,
and franchises, and so that's the way the game is moving. And I think it's very hard to fight against those market forces. What I do think should happen, though, is usually maximizing communication and having good, honest, transparent conversations with stakeholders is a really good place to start.
Yeah.
So not making it a fight between franchise owners and those strategists that are trying to grow the franchise game. I don't think the international board should be fighting with them, but working with them to find solutions to the I suppose you could say it's a problem, the problem that is upcoming, and it is coming. There's going to have to be, there might be a standoff at some stage, and players like Jos or Jofra, they are in high demand, and loyalty is loyalty in these days, when a person's employer is much more fluid than it used to be in days gone by, when you might have one employer for your entire career. That doesn't happen anymore. The world's more fluid than that, and so loyalty to one board is just it's not going to happen. Wishful thinking.
Yeah, wishful. Yeah. And it's loyalty to self, actually, and
self and family.
Yeah, as in your own skills. You're the one who essentially has clients, right? You're not employed. You're kind of independently contracted to provide your services, and you essentially provide them to the highest bidder, because you can, and because the time when you're a wanted player.
Yeah. If you're lucky, it's 20 years. If you're really lucky, very good.
And if you're not, it's shorter. But the impact of one contract 2 contracts could be hugely significant and set you up for the rest of your life, sort of thing. What about the game itself? Move on from administration and all of that and say, as you've experienced it and its development and its dynamism, the choice of 2020, 50 over, or test match, where does that sit in your head? I promise that's my last question to you, okay, and then I can let you go.
I think the 50 over game particularly is under pressure, but in terms of bilateral cricket,
Okay.
not so much. I think the ICC World Tournaments are still
Prestigious?
Are still prestigious. The World Cup is still prestigious, and the cricket that's played in the World Cup is sensational. And I think there's a lot of interest for it. It's the mix between the very short form of T20 cricket and the longer first class or Test cricket. And there's still a lot of interest in the flow of the game in 50 over cricket. So I think ICC World Tournaments in 50 over cricket are still followed well, and they make the ICC a lot of money. So and that money is redistributed to the various cricketing nations. So I think those will stay strong and perpetuate. But the bilateral tournaments are losing a lot of interest, not only amongst just spectators, but I love cricket and I'm intimately involved with cricket, and even I follow those much less than I used to.
Okay. Well, no, I hear you. I don't know what you all think out there. Is it still going? Is it not? Is it kind of difficult to follow? I agree with you, though, that you still want to be at a World Cup. You still want to play it. I like the format, I'll be honest. I actually really like the format of 50 over cricket, and the tweaks here and there have kind of gone quite nicely. 4 out the circle in the middle of the game where it might have been boring, it's quickened it, makes it more difficult for bowlers, of course, but I like the fact that the game's dynamic like that, and you keep trying to do different things and improve it and make it, watchable and so forth. It's moving with the times. I suppose essentially, whether we're talking administration and different franchises and so forth, moving with the times is what's important. Thanks for this. One more request. The channel is called Mbangwa Media. Tell them to subscribe, please. They'll listen to you more than they'll listen to me.
Come on, people. Mbangwa Media. Pommie's always there to entertain. He's definitely always there to talk with, or should I say listen to.
I'm still getting sledged. Catch you next time. Bye.